Welcome back to Face the Nation, coming to you the next couple of weeks from the coast and right now from Mombasa County. Yes, right inside the 420-year-old Fort Jesus. And we've got an audience that's getting pretty heated out here. I tell you, the topic is hot. But before we go to more questions, especially from our audience members, we took our camera out to the streets of Mombasa County to find out and discover what exactly is going on, what needs to be done. Let's go to that tape.
Mombasa limekuwa sasa ni jiji, na ikiwa basi ni jiji, lazima kwa upande wa takataka ziwe zenye kuangaliwa kwa uzuri, kwa sababu jiji la Mombasa ni jiji ambalo kwamba linatambulika katika nchi ya Kenya. Kwa hiyo itakuwa ni aibu kwanza kwa serikali, ni aibu kwa viongozi, ni aibu kwa wabunge walio katika nchi hii ya Mombasa, iwapo nchi ya Mombasa itakuwa ina takataka paka town center.
You go everywhere from all corners of Mombasa County, you'll see heaps and heaps of garbage. Solid waste management is science that it needs a specialist. I think the biggest problem in the Mombasa Municipal Council is that they don't have a consultant in solid waste management.
Garbage, kusema la kweli, baraza imeshindwa, na imeshindwa nafikiri kutokana na ukosefu wa vifaa na wafanyikazi. Mimi naona ni wakati mzuri sasa ikuwe privatized, ipewe watu wengine waweze kuimanage.
Okay, you heard the issues there, and there are lots of issues, but I want to get to one real quick before we go to audience questions. Somebody explained to me, Mombasa Republican Council, we laughed in the beginning when they said they wanted to secede. They seem pretty serious. Waziri?
Well, first of all, Mombasa Republican Council have a right to be heard. I believe they have a right, like every Kenyan, to be heard. They have genuine issues, and they are real issues. The real issues is because out of discrimination, marginalization, and lack of interest by any government that has been in power in Kenya. The issue of land is sensitive. The issue of positions and education is sensitive. The issue of appointments and discrimination. If there's a conflict between President Kibaki and Raila Odinga, it should be their business internally. When a minority is sacrificed because there's a conflict, then we, the minority, suffer. That's why Mombasa Republican will coexist and will have a genuine issue to fight. I believe that Mombasa Republicans should be heard, and they have legitimacy into demanding to be heard. But I believe that we cannot secede, and we shall not secede. We are one Kenya and one people.
Farida, do you agree?
I fully agree with Mheshimiwa. Sababu kama alivyoeleza mwanzo, watoto wetu hapa pwani wamekuwa wameglanda for a very long time. Na ukiangalia tuna port, si kwa sababu makazi hakuna, makazi yapo, lakini wapeleki kazini. Na si kwa kuwa wakusoma, wamesoma na una ujuzi wa kazi. Leo hii unaona hata kina mama pia wanakosa nafasi ya kupata urathi wao ya mashamba. Ni kwa sababu ya maonevu tunaonewa hapa pwani. Sasa ndio ukaona ile Mombasa Republican imejitolea. Wako tayari mayouth kufanya kitu chochote, lakini wapate haki zao. Kwa sababu wamevumilia kwa siku nyingi, wameona wazazi wao wamedhulumiwa kwa miaka mingi, na dhulma iko, si kwa hakuna. Na viongozi tunao wanaziona hizo dhulma, na ni wachache sana ambao wanapigania kwa ule uongozi kwa katika uongozi wao kuleta ule usawa. Si wote wanashirikiana. Kama lao viongozi wote wanashirikiana, leo tungekuwa tuko mbali sana hapa pwani. Lakini viongozi wetu kama alivyosema mheshimiwa, kwanza simama utegwe, fitina, kusutwa, kumwangalia mwanamke gani anamsupport nani, unawekewa watu wanakufanyia fujo, uwezi kuingia mahali hadharani. Yani hii pwani hatuna viongozi kwa sasa.
Betty Sharon, you had mentioned at the beginning of this program you have two citizenships.
Yes.
Kenya and Pwani.
And Pwani.
What's that about? Is that MRC?
It's all about Pwani and MRC as well. They do have a right to be heard and to express their grievances. Unapata ya kwamba makampuni zinatoka Nairobi. For example, Nakumat ama Tuskys. Kuanzia messenger mpaka manager tayari wamekuja nao. Ukienda kuuliza kazi huko, unaambiwa ukitaka kutafuta kazi hapa, una apply, barua yako inaenda Nairobi, ukijibiwa sawa, usipojibiwa pia sawa. Lakini unaangalia, kusema kweli, mtu anatoka Nairobi kuja kufanya kazi ya umessenger huku. Watu hapa hawawezi kufanya chochote. Alafu unapata hata wanasema watu wa Mombasa hawakusoma, hawapendi mambo ya shule. Lakini what is the government doing about it? Kila siku tunasikia kuna commission imeundwa, kuna task force. Lini waliunda task force wakaleta Mombasa waangalie kwa nini watoto hawasomi? You mentioned, I don't know whether it was you ama ilikuwa natoka kwa radio, ya kwamba mashule za huku ni kama za Kirinyaga. Sawa, inaweza kuwa ni kama za Kirinyaga, lakini walimu pia ni kama za huko. Kuna injustices nyingi na tungependa watu wa MRC wapewe nafasi to express their grievances. Thank you.
Okay. Suleiman, let me ask you a question, because you want to be governor of Mombasa. The port, my goodness, what a mess. What a mess. And you know, ships are backlogged for months. Everyone's losing money daily. Because what, is it a cartel that's running Kilindini, or what is it? And then we're running to Lamu to now initiate another port, which is a great venture. It's going to be great for this country. But if we can't get this one right, you know, what is our problem?
Number one, let's start with a very important point. The port belongs to Mombasa and the people of Mombasa. Somehow, people want to forget that fact. Nobody has ever come and stood up and said that the coffee farms of Kiambu belong to Kenya, or the fish in Lake Victoria belong to Nyanza. But when it comes to the port, which is our most important asset, we're suddenly told it's a national asset. So that's ours. Tukubaliane on that point first. But why is the port failing? The port is failing because of political patronage, which in a different word is called corruption. They created CFSs and allocated the responsibility of moving containers. They took it away from the port and gave it to well-connected people, politically connected people, on the grounds that this would be more efficient. But what did this do? You took revenue from the port and gave it to individual business people who do not have the expertise or the machinery or the competence to run this efficiently. And this is the result. And what Mwananchi doesn't realize is that every time these port delays happen, our cost of importation goes up, which is paid by the Mwananchi. The port of Mombasa is losing competitiveness, and business will start going to Dar es Salaam and to other ports, and we're going to start falling behind. This must change. The entire problem is political. And it's political because the port is being managed by people who frankly don't care about the interest of the people of Mombasa. That's what we have assumed.
It's just greed.
It's greed.
Yeah.
Not just greed, it's greed and indifference to the fact that this port should benefit the people of Mombasa first. That must change. And that is something that when I become governor, I will challenge as soon as possible.
Not if. Not if you become.
Not if. When I become governor of Mombasa.
Maswali, tafadhali,
If I
Maswali.
want to comment on
Go ahead,
the
go ahead,
port of
Mheshimiwa.
Mombasa.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive and I have a right to comment on it. First of all, the Schedule 4, where there is devolution and county responsibilities. There is the county responsibilities and central government responsibilities. Harbors and ports and ferries belong to the county government. I met with the CRA, Commission for Resource Allocation, Bwana Cheseren. We had a discussion on the port of Mombasa. And I've made it very clear, and I showed him the constitution that says, Schedule 4, 5E, ferries and harbors are under the county government. So that will change later. But what is happening today? Today, the congestion there is man-made. That is corruption and patronage of the worst order, not in the interest of the country. It's interest of connected people who have no interest even on others, citizens of this country. I want to say, we are building a beautiful port, and I was there supporting the Lamu port, which I will support. Yeah. The port of Lamu is going to support the economy of Ethiopia and Southern Sudan. The port of Kilindini is going to support the GDP of Kenya and the GDP of Uganda, GDP of Northern Tanzania and Eastern Congo. We must do something today. The big people sitting in parliament, the big people sitting in government, the big people sitting anywhere are the one charging you.
And we're paying.
And we are paying.
And we're not questioning.
Yes. I tell the people, stop starting protesting and demonstrating in the streets in supporting of a political leader. Support when they go to the streets and protest when there is a problem of the economy. When the price of bread has gone up, go and protest. When the price of fuel, go and protest. When the price of electricity, go and protest. But don't wait here. When a political leader comes on Tononoka grounds, we are all lining up to Tononoka and going and cheering actually a cartoon leader. And that is happening.
Absolutely.
And we don't do the right things ourselves.
Correct.
That's why it must start with us. The change of the mindset must start with me.
Absolutely. Good. Maswali tafadhali, watu wa Mombasa. Maswali.
My name is Azakia Mohammed from Mvita. My question goes to Mr. Shabal. You've been talking a lot about education and about health. I just want you to tell me what improvement or what system or what criteria you'll use to improve education and health. Thank you.
Suleiman.
Education, improving education in Mombasa is not just improving one or two schools in Mombasa. It's improving the whole system across the area. And the first change to education, to improving our education, is to start changing our own mind frame. We as a community do not take education seriously enough. That must change. That's number one. Number two, we as a community must start investing in our schools and investing first with our own time. It is time that we encourage a closer partnership between the parent, the student, and the teacher. That is not happening. Very often you find a situation where a child is now going for exams and the parent, oh, Mungu akusaidie. By that time it's too late. This engagement must start from a very early stage. Number three, we must start proper preparation for our students, particularly the Standard 8 and the Form 4 students, by setting up exam preparation centers, because I'm convinced that if we start preparing our students from January till November, they'll be ready. And for your information, I have been investing in education myself since 1996. I've been supporting a school in Likoni called Darul Ulum since 1996. I have been educating students long before I went into politics. Every year, I send at least 50 university students to school. Okay? And right now, we're starting a university in Malindi called Coast International University. Now, that is my commitment to education. Okay? I keep saying again and again, my number one agenda is education. My number two agenda is education. My number three agenda is education.
All right.
My commitment is total and absolute, because that is what will change our community.
Absolutely. Sir, Swali Tafdali.
Let us face the nation. Salamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Na wale ndugu zangu, Bwana asifiwe. Naamini kwanza, mimi naitwa Salim Bajaber, former deputy mayor. Nimefanya kazi na bwana waziri tukiwa council pamoja, kwa hivyo usafi tulifanya pamoja. Swala langu ni kwa ndugu yangu Najib Balala. Naamini yeye ni mjuzi wa kazi, naamini yeye ana uwezo wa kufanya kazi, na naamini watu wa Mombasa wanampenda. Swala langu linakuja kwako bwana Najib. Kwa nini wewe unakuwa kama viongozi wa bara na kusema Babangida tosha, uachi sisi tuamue? Hiyo namba moja.